So welcome to Inside Look. Today we're going to do interview tips. I'm going to go through 3 different styles of interviews. That's a long form interview, a short, concise interview, and then also we're going to do an interview on the field. Let's go check out what we got. Tip number 1 is prepare, prepare, prepare. You always got to make sure that you're ready to use your interview, what you want to accomplish in your interview, and on top of that, what questions you want to ask. Now, the person that you're going to interview might want their questions in advance, which can be tricky, because in one hand, you want them to feel comfortable, but in the other hand, you don't want it to make it seem like it's a speech that they've already prepared. So you gotta test the waters and give them an idea of what they're talking about rather than giving them an exact word for word quote of exactly what you're gonna ask them. Smooth. Today I'm gonna be interviewing Sam. You're going to see me go through an interview, and I'm going to walk you through some of the tips that I have of what to do. The first thing I want to do is make sure that Sam is as comfortable as possible. Ask him simple things. Ask him if he needs to go to the bathroom, or needs to get a glass of water, or if he's literally comfortable in the chair that he's sitting in. How you feeling? Good, great. So as we're moving forward with the interview, we want to make sure that Sam has every idea of what is going on. I never intend to interview someone in a gotcha moment. He should be comfortable with the questions that I'm going to be asking him. Trying to think of how you're going to, well, I guess you just put B-roll or something over.
Hello.
Hello, hi Sam.
Welcome back to work.
Bye Sam. I brought these for you guys.
Oh.
Post office, leftover candies. I don't know your favorite flavors, so I just picked, I like orange.
You like orange?
That's why I picked 2 orange.
What do you like, Rachel?
What color?
Yeah, turn around.
I think one is a pink and 2 oranges. Dum-dums.
Did you just call me a dum-dum?
Wait, what about Sam?
Dum-dums. Yeah, dum-dums.
Dum Dum is right there.
One is dum-dum.
Dum Dum there. See, this
All right.
is pink. It is the same color.
It's not
She
pink.
called it pink. She called it pink. She called
It's
it
not
pink. She
pink.
said it was pink. She said I have
Let's see
one
if the
pink and
orange-
2 oranges, and it's even more red than Pink Yoshi. Pink Yoshi.
One of the things I always like to say to make people feel comfortable is to look at me and not the camera. Cameras make their interviews very uncomfortable. So what we're gonna do is tell our person that we're talking to look at me, don't worry about the camera, The cameras will find you. It's just a conversation between the two of us. That usually helps break down a little bit of the wall of uncomfort that's gonna be going on. The next thing that I like is to test the audio and make sure the recording's working. I have a little trick that I like to use when I'm testing the audio, is that rather than telling my person to count to 10, which most people use, I tell them to say their name and then spell it. So you hear their pronunciation of the name and you also get the spelling. So Sam, we're just checking the audio. If you can just say your name and then spell it out for us.
My name is Sam Merlin, is spelled S-A-M-M-E-R-L-I-N.
Using that alone, your audio person should have a pretty good idea if the audio is set up correctly. The next part is to make sure the camera's ready. Let me go turn that on right now. Whenever you ask a question, always remember, don't talk while the person is answering. So and yeah, don't give them verbal affirmation that you're listening to what they're saying. Just a simple nod and yes will do. Also, ask questions that are direct, ones that you intend to use. Open-ended questions are horrible. Things like this. So Sam, tell me about yourself.
Well, what do you want to know?
They have no idea how to respond to an open-ended question like that. So what works is a direct question for an answer that you're looking for. So Sam, you went on a trip for a whole month. You went to 3 different countries. What was it like to pack for that trip? What was the thought process leaving?
Oh, it was pretty crazy because I just knew I wanted to bring as much as I could, but knowing that I was going to be traveling a lot, I had to really minimize what I had down and just to the bare minimum.
Now, one of the things that you're going to want to do is listen for key words. As they're talking, you're trying to find out another question that you can go to. Because you have prepared questions, you want to be able to lead your interview into the next question as well. But always keep an ear out for what it is that they're talking about so you can follow up on their statement. So you're packing and you're trying to figure out, I got a ton of traveling that I got to do, but also you got to travel through 3 countries. You need plenty of stuff. So what is it that you're looking at? Like, this has got to go, this has got to go in. What was your list like of why something needed to stay and why something was tossed out?
Well, I of course was going over with all my camera stuff because I wanted to film as much as I could. And so I started off with looking at what exactly I wanted to bring there, clothes I needed, because you have to dress a certain way in certain areas of the countries, and pretty much decide to just lay out everything that I wanted to bring and then just strip it down to really what I simply need, so I'm not just overloaded with everything.
All right, so your bags are packed, you're getting ready to go. What are the 3 countries that you're hitting and what was the order of how you were going to get it done?
So it was a bit crazy. I started off by flying over to Thailand, and from Thailand, that was kind of my home base. I then went over to Cambodia, then back to Thailand, then to Vietnam, and then back to Thailand. And then finally, afterwards, coming home to the good old US of A.
Don't be afraid to ask the same question 2 or 3 times. As you do it, ask it a different way every time you ask it because you're looking for a specific answer. Remember, in your preparation, you want certain things to come out of what they're saying. So when you're listening to their answer, hear if you got the answer that you want. But if you don't, ask the same question again, try to reword it and see if you can get the different answer out of it, the one that you need. So what was the itinerary like though? As you're going through those countries, what were the things that you were trying to get done in each country?
So there were certain spots I knew I wanted to hit, like certain temples. Southeast Asia is full of temples. And so I just had this whole list that I really laid out, and I just knew I wanted to get to those certain areas to really capture them with my camera and through video and photography.
Now, you hooked up with a couple families too, right? Of where you stayed. You made sure that certain people were there, so you had a place to stay.
Yes, yeah. So my friend Alex, who previously worked here, is living in Thailand, so I was able to go and she showed me around Bangkok and all those areas, of course. And then over in Vietnam, Hong, who is from Vietnam, has family over there still, and her cousin son helped show me around. And in Cambodia, I just went over with Alex. We both went over there and just explored the area.
Don't lose control of the interview. Remember, it's your project. You're the one that wants to take this and use it in a certain way. You've done all that preparation. Don't let the person that you're interviewing dictate how the interview is going to go with the way that they answer questions. Make sure that your questions are poignant, they're to the point, and they get the answer that you're looking for. As they start to ramble, make sure that you try to give them a hint that you want them to sum it up so you can move on to something different. So you get the idea of what a long form interview is going to be like. It's a pretty tough interview style because now you got to try to fill 30 minutes of an interview with solid conversation, and you need to control the conversation for 30 full minutes. Let's take a look now at trying to do an interview of a short form interview where you're trying to get a specific topic with a very specific goal in mind. Cool.
Sorry about that text. It was my mommy. Mom was texting me. It's November 22nd, a Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Everyone has gone home early for the holiday, and I am here making my hours. But since I'm here alone, I thought I'd do something a little fun. Why don't I teach you guys about a cool little film mechanic? It's called a follow focus. So let's jump right into it. So what is a follow focus? Well, let me show you. This little knob right here is your follow focus. It allows you to more precisely and smoothly pull focus. Why would you want to use this, and why is it such a great tool? Well, if you're directing something that's a bit more cinematic and you have this scene with different subjects in it, it can make pulling focus between the different subjects much easier. For instance, oftentimes directors like to block their scenes. This means that they mark points in which their subjects will move to within a scene. This is very important. If you are a young and starting off filmmaker, block your scenes. It's a great way to let your actors know where to go, how to move, and it also helps your camera assistant pull focus much easier, especially using one of these great little devices here. Now, let me demonstrate this for you, but unfortunately, I'm alone here at the studio, as I said before, so I don't know if I have any subjects to help me out.
Yoshi!
Oh, hello Yoshi. Hey everyone, say hello to Yoshi. You can be my subject if you want, can you? Awesome, awesome. This is actually Pink Yoshi, although I'm pretty sure he's red, or she's red. I don't know. You guys should let me know in the comments, what color is Yoshi? Red or pink? We're going to need to make marks on our follow focus, and I'm doing so with these dry erase markers. Now onto our scene. We start with Yoshi at her starting position by the coffee machine, find our focus and mark it. I'm using red. Sorry, it doesn't appear too well on camera, but it's there. Next, we'll have Yoshi move up to the second mark by the fortune cookie. Find our focus and once again mark it, this time with green. Ah, that's better. Now we are ready to shoot. So we'll reset our scene and focus, and once we are ready, begin the move. As Yoshi moves from the first to second mark, I will do the same with a follow focus, maintaining a speed similar to the subject. And because we marked our focus, I know exactly where to stop for the perfect crisp image. Here's how the final scene looks.
Yoshi!
So now I'm going to do a short form interview. I want specific events that he's been talking about. I know that he has B-roll of his documentary, so I want to be able to use that B-roll in very specific ways. So I'm going to ask him specific questions to get him to answer those, and then we're going to cover it with B-roll. So now I'm going to tell my subject to look off to the right. You're going to look at me and not the camera. So just like in the long form interview, when I tell them to talk to me, same idea. They don't have to make eye contact with the camera for the interview to be useful. So Sam, you can just talk right to me. You don't have to worry about the camera. We're going to be talking like this in a normal conversation. So don't worry about the camera so much.
All right, sounds good.
Now, what were some of the other interesting things? Obviously, stuff that you might have some quick footage of. What's like a building that you went to? You mentioned that you went to see some temples.
Yes. So specifically in Thailand is where I saw a lot of the main temples. I should bring up Cambodia in Siem Reap. I think that's one of the most famous areas, historical areas for historical temples anywhere, because Angkor Wat being probably one of the largest ancient temples in the world, if not the largest. I forget exact statistics. But I went there with my camera. I had 2 days there actually. I got a 3-day pass, and I just went ham, taking photos and videos and going up to high points and shooting down, and just getting the grand scope of it all, because it's like its own little community, and it's really beautiful and amazing.
Awesome. Cool. So use the same ideas and techniques in this interview, but now keep in mind the B-roll that you have that you want to put over this. Because remember, you're using this interview very specifically. So ask very, very specific questions so that you get certain answers out of what they're saying. So the final form of interview we're going to do is an in-the-field interview. Just like what you've seen in the news. We're going to interview Sam as an event just happened. I want to find out about the art gallery that Medfield TV just did. So I'm going to ask specific questions. Who, what, where, why, and when. Those simple elementary questions. I need to get those answers out of Sam. So Sam, thanks for doing the interview with us. When was the art gallery, and who was the artist that was involved?
So the art gallery was last Friday, and it was hosting the artwork of Tim Flaherty.
Now notice in the framing of this shot, I have my back to the camera so that my subject looks to me, and when they do, their eyes are now focused more towards the camera. The second thing is I also have my shoulders squared when I talk to the camera, and then square them up to my subject as I look to them. So I'm actually doing that on purpose, where I'm taking the viewer's eyes away from me and I'm focusing them on Sam purely by how we're standing. So Sam, the art gallery last Friday, tell me what kind of art does Tim do?
So Tim does all sorts of art. It can be anything from photography to collages. He has a sculpture here even that shows just various different types of artworks that, anyone can really do.
Now, why was it an art show like this? Why is it important that something like that comes to Medfield TV?
It's important so that people know we care about the town and we care about the local artists here, because in a way we're all artists working in TV, film, broadcast. We create and put out our best work, and so I feel that there is a connection between us and artists who do stuff like photography, painting, collages even, and it is really important for us to be able to give them an outlet on which they can present their stuff to the public.
Now, the last part of these interviews that is very, very important is how you edit them. And in this particular case, where I'm talking to Sam in an interview style like the news and we're trying to get information out of him, I'm going to edit Sam's words. Now, what's important here is morally where you stand. I don't want to change what Sam says. I'm throwing random questions that he doesn't know yet, and he's answering them as honestly as he can. And it's my job as an editor to clean up what he says without changing the words that he uses. So Sam, now you guys went through the art show. It's important that the artists are, recognized here in Medfield. How'd you feel about the art show, and how did it go?
I felt great about the art show. There was a great showing. It's always kind of iffy on how many people are going to come to these events, but I was very happy with the outcome. Tim seemed very happy with the outcome, and we all just had a great time socializing and admiring the work of Tim Flaherty.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you guys the interview in its whole and then show it as it's edited so that you can see the difference between a clean cut interview and then also an interview that is in the entirety of its speech and the raw footage that we end up working with. Thank you very much, Sam.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
Awesome.
So the art gallery was last Friday, and it was hosting the artwork of Tim Flaherty. Tim does all sorts of art. It can be anything from photography to collages. He has a sculpture here even, just various different types of artworks.
Now, why was it an art show like this? Why is it important that something like that comes to Medfield TV?
It's important so that people know we care about the town and we care about the local artists here, because in a way we're all artists working in TV, film, broadcast. So I feel that there is a connection between us and artists who do stuff like photography, painting, collages even. And it is really important for us to be able to give them an outlet on which they can present their stuff to the public. I felt great about the art show. We all just had a great time socializing and admiring the work of Tim Flaherty. I'm going to put up a poll, and it's going to have this picture on it. It's going to say pink or red.
Well, that's not a good shot because she looks kind of red there. Let me turn on the light.
She still looks red.
She looks more red there. That's Pink Yoshi, y'all.
Let's compare with Yoshi and then your pink ear buns behind
My ear buns? These are ear muffins.
your muffins.
And this is a different pink, so it doesn't count. There's more than one kind of pink. You need to compare it to red if you think it's red. So compare it to Mario's hat. Okay.
Look at that. Very similar colors.
Similar, but not the same.
I'd say, in fact, that Yoshi is more red than Cockadoodle Hen.
Mario is making them both look pink.
Mario is orange.
This is orange.
Yeah, Mario's like an orangish red.
When has anyone ever said Mario's hat is orange?
It looks like an orangish red.
Mario's hat is red. And that is well-known common fact.
Yeah, but that's obviously been faded to the point where it looks kind of...
Faded? I take good care of Mario.
What is his gloves? His gloves are no longer white.
Yeah, but they're not faded. They didn't get lighter. They just got darker.
I think...
Yeah, it is a common known fact that pumpkins are orange, that Mario's hat is red. So those are the two colors that we know are constants. We know that Yoshi's green. We can put Yoshi here. These are three colors that everyone knows.
I say the pumpkin is definitely orange. Mario's hat is orangish red. Cockadoodle Hen is a slightly more magenta red. And Yoshi is red.
I'm gonna just set them up here and you can see how pink Yoshi is pink.
And I probably can't even put any of this in because these are copywritten trademark characters.
Wow.
You've been interviewed.
I've been interviewed.
It was just a little taste. The documentary that he's actually working on, I'm actually pretty excited about. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Hopefully it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
You remember how you were saying before, in one of your videos you made an inside look, it's hard to close these things out?
Oh.
Because you don't really know what to say or do?
Is that what you're feeling right now?
I'm experiencing that right now. It is weird because you want to be loose and relaxed, and then there's also no structure.
It's
I just don't know how to close these things out.
Well, after doing a few of these, I think I've gone pretty well. And maybe I should even do an episode on how to close out a show, like Inside Look. That's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like you have to know how to close it out in order to tell people how to close it out.
You saying I don't know?
I'm saying I'm watching us not know.
You want to watch this? You want to watch this magic happen right now?
Wait, before you do that, I hope you enjoyed this show. I think it was an excellent lesson for people to watch and learn. The biggest thing that I wanted to do this show for is because I want you to try it. Come on in, find someone you want to interview, find a topic that you think is interesting in Medfield, and guess what? This is our new chief editor. He's here to teach you exactly how to do it, which is why this show is so perfect for Sam to be doing. So I hope that you enjoyed the show. I want you to come in, Medfield TV, talk to me, talk to Sam, and all of the wonderful staff we have, Hong and Rachel, and if Eric's around, Janine, we're all wonderful people. We want to meet you, and we want to see what kind of talent you have. You can come on in, and we can show you how to use it. That's a pretty good close.
Yeah, I was just about to say, thanks for stealing my outro.
Yeah, no problem.
So yeah,
Good luck.
Thank you for watching Inside Look. We'll be back next month. I don't even need to do a close. I'll just have you do every time. You know?